Greetings, groovy people. I'm the self-proclaimed Blue Dragon, and I welcome you to the channel. This is a Friday video. I know not that long ago I had sworn off Friday videos, but I decided, I've got a lot of projects that I need to get done. This year I actually signed up for Alt+Delete, which is a comic book convention held up in the Chicagoland area. It's at the Hyatt Inn. A little bit before Christmas, actually, the weekend before Christmas. And I have a lot of, I have my comic book that I'm definitely going to sell there. Gosh, I should have had this ready. These Friday videos, okay, I'm going to talk about this in just a second, but yeah, so I have comic books that I'm going to be selling there. They look like this. This is not just going to be an advertisement, I swear. But I have a lot of art projects that I want to sell, both traditional art and, some projects that I keep setting aside, which I'm going to talk about in this introduction video for my new Friday series, I guess. So my Wednesday videos I want to keep at around the 10 to 11 minute mark. And I want to keep doing them time-lapse because I do those for my patrons, but also for people reading the Dark Horse comic. However, I do like to do these art videos, and I have had a really kind person, commenting on some of my Art With Me videos. And they asked for, like, some slower videos, and I don't know if that was meant to be, like, how I talk, because when I do my live Art With Me videos, I talk usually a little slower. I mean, I talk fast naturally. I don't know. I've just always talked like this. Sorry, you guys. But they may also have been talking about, like, actually looking at the speed at which I create my pieces. And so I thought, this would actually be a really good opportunity to both, kind of take it easy and have just some videos that are real time where I just kind of just talk about whatever, and I don't have to have necessarily a topic, but also so that people can see, how I do my work and actually see it in real time, so that it's not time-lapsed and going really fast. And I will have both videos like with the sketches and inking, but I'm also going to try to do the real-time Photoshop. And that way people, I'm not a teacher, and I would never consider myself a quality teacher anyhow, but that way if someone has a question, maybe they can watch what I'm doing and maybe get an idea and replicate what I do. Again, I'm not a professional in Photoshop. I kind of do, what works for me, but if it helps someone and it's entertaining, I'm certainly happy to do that. And plus, this will be a perfect opportunity for me to actually start working on some side projects that I keep, just setting aside, including working on my other comic, The Whimper in the Dark, which is heavily inked. I use color ink and predominantly black ink. And it's been on hiatus, and it makes me sad because I like to draw our dogs. But also this, what I'm going to talk about in this intro video, which is this is going to be next Friday's video. So my very first video that I uploaded to YouTube was inking this picture here. I have a 4-card set that I intend to create. I have this one, I'd already done it, inked it and scanned it in and colored it digitally. I'll put that picture up here so you can see what it looks like. And then I'm going to be selling these both as like little playing cards. I don't have a whole set. It's just, decorative. It's a trading card like thing. But I also have like some actual color prints that don't have like the Queen of Diamonds theme. It's just her holding the diamond, which, oh, where did I put it? I'm in my wrong stack. I am ready, believe it or not. Which looks like this. So this was the first video that I ever uploaded onto YouTube besides my Patreon video. So my first video that I'm going to do in this Friday series, which again is going to be a lot more casual, more relaxed. There's going to be obviously no word of Wednesday, because it's not Wednesday. But there's also not, I might ask questions, and I might encourage people to ask questions, or, something like that, but I'm not going to have anything like official This is just going to be kind of a laid back thing that I want to do. Oopsie. What I do want to kind of touch upon in this video is the ink that I'm going to be using for this series is India ink. And I'm trying to get rid of the rest of my India ink because I'm not going to buy it any longer because of just some of my personal moral beliefs regarding like the ingredients that are in it. And I don't get me wrong, I don't judge anyone who wants to use that. That's fine, to each their own. It's just something that I personally set as a standard for myself. So what I'm going to be doing also in these videos is trying to kind of use up those supplies so that in the future I can start being more careful about and more mindful about buying products that don't have any animal items that have no animal products in it. I'll try not to be super repetitive, but I mean, I get repetitive, you guys. So, one of the pluses of India ink, though, just to let you know, this picture, I had to use India ink for because it's the shellac in it. It's made out of some kind of secretion from a bug. Oops, sorry, sorry about that. I don't know if the bug actually. What about the lighting for that? I got a little light. I don't want it to be too bright. But I don't know if, I feel like I looked this up and the bug is very short-lived anyhow, so I don't know if they're just collecting secretions after they pass away or if they're actually breeding the bugs for it or whatever. But the thing that makes the India ink dry and is so shiny is that shellac, which is found inside of it. And it is not a water-based ink. So one of the nice things about India ink is that when it dries, like I did with this here, I was able to paint it with ink. I have a lot of different colored inks, and actually most of those I think are synthetic or at least don't have any animal products, some of them that I've looked up. So yeah, it's nice because then when you're painting, it's not going to smudge and you have total control over the line work. I did go back over this and do some more India ink over what I painted just because it kind of faded the line work a little bit. But what I generally use is called Sumi Ink. This is what I use for my comic. Sumi is traditionally it's a plant-based ink. It's usually made out of vegetable or pine soot, and it smells really good because when they make it in the bar form, which is kind of traditional if you're doing some kind of is it the Sumi-E painting? I think it's called Sumi-E painting with the brush. And you do like you can look it up. I can maybe throw up a picture as an example, but that specific style of painting is Sumi-E. And when it's in the bar, it does have gelatin as the binding agent to hold it together. But this company, someone had actually written them, and the product itself is completely plant-based. They weren't able to get there was a communication translation breakdown, so they weren't able to find out whether or not it's tested on animals. However, at this point, I'm doing my best, and so at this point, until I can find something that for sure wasn't tested on animals, this is what I'm going to use until I find out otherwise. But it's a water-based ink, so this is the Sumi Ink 60, and the nice thing about the water-based ink is that it works fantastically with things that are alcohol-based, like my Copic markers. This is my pack. I have 8 markers, I think. But yeah, if I'm using these markers, these alcohol-based markers, in combination with India ink, then that ink will smudge. The alcohol will lift it. But if I use it with the Sumi ink, which is what I do, then it will not smudge it. If it's fully dry, it won't smudge it because this is alcohol-based. I learned the hard way that if I use Sumi ink with watercolors, like I did with this is the Act 1. I did a watercolor version of it. It's a little big for my screen area here. But it started to smudge. You can see that very clearly. I will try to lift it up a little bit. But you can see how it smudged a little bit. I was able to use that to my advantage and kind of use the leakage or the lifting for shadowing, for adding value to the picture. I'm really bad with watercolor. Watercolor is infamously hard, especially if you're impatient like me. But yeah, I was able to do that, but unless I want that effect, I'm not going to do it again because the Sumi ink is water-based, and using watercolor or using the inks I have found in my sketchbook, that also will lift the Sumi ink. So alcohol markers, great with Sumi ink. Watercolors and ink, not so much. But yeah, I thought I would share that with you guys since this is just the introduction video. So what I want to do next Friday is I've been working on this series. I have definitely completed the Winter card, who's the Queen of Hearts. I am happy with how this has turned out, so what I will do is I haven't gotten it the size I want yet, but I have scanned this in, and next week I'm going to print this off the size I want it to match the other card, and then I will ink it. And then the following week, I will paint it, quote-unquote paint it with the inks. I use brushes is why I say I'm painting it whenever I use the ink. So that's what's going to be happening next week. I do kind of have them all designed, but I'm not very happy with how spring turned out. I'm just not, I think she's a little top-heavy. I don't think she's proportioned right, so before I ink her, and really, I'm not too particularly happy with how I did the sleeves either. I might just make that solid. That might actually look a little better. But I'm going to have to fix her up before I work on her. I mean, I can even tell looking at the camera, looking at what I'm recording, that her head is way too big for her body. But then I have like just a rough idea of what I want the Queen of Clubs to be. She's going to have like a little clover. I drew this when I was on the train heading home. I was sick. I'd been visiting my cousin, but I had gotten sick, so I was trying to take my mind off of being ill. Oh my gosh. That lighting, I just cannot get the lighting. You guys, bear with me with the technical difficulty. Maybe I'll just turn that off. Maybe that's better. I don't know. I'll try to figure out the lighting, you guys. But yeah, this is the idea that I came up with. Obviously, she's not very well fleshed out. I've got this arm just hiding. I don't like to hide the arms. I like to challenge myself. I think that's something that I particularly used to fall into when I was younger. I would try to hide the arms so I didn't have to draw the hands, but this is just a sketch idea. So I've got the 4 cards. I'm only doing the queens right now. If I like it and I think I can, do the other cards well, then I might think about doing that, but at the moment, that's what I got. So yeah, I really hope that you guys like this. If it's something you're not particularly interested in, give it a try. They're going to be a little bit longer videos, but if you don't like it, don't worry. I'm going to stick to my Wednesday schedule of the 10-minute videos. I'll still kind of occasionally go off from the Dark Horse topic if I'm working on something else, but those videos are going to remain time-lapse. For people who are, just want a quick, update or like quick story regarding my comic, whatnot. And then my Friday videos are, I'm talking so fast, I'm gasping for air. I get really nervous is why I do that. And normally whenever I edit my videos, I take out all the heavy breathing and all the creepy heavy breathing and the desperate talk. Oops, gosh, I keep hitting that. That's something else I'm going to have to work on. You guys are in for a ride, let me tell you. This little GoPro knockoff thing is supposed to be for, putting on your head and recording while you walk, but I use it for whatever. But yeah, I normally edit out all of my gasps for air because I do still get kind of nervous making these videos. It's a little weird because I know YouTubers talk, who are on screen, they talk about how you have to acclimate and get used to talking to no one looking in the camera. And even though my face is not on camera, I still feel kind of weird, talking to just a microphone. I don't know how like DJs do it. Oh wait, there are no DJs. No, there actually are still DJs. I know I talk about KDHX all the time, but there are real life human DJs on that channel, and they stream their stuff, and they're community radio, and they're public, and they aren't owned by anyone. Anyway, yeah. Whatever. There's my plug. There's my plug for KDHX. You guys go check them out and support them. They're pretty awesome. But yeah, so these videos are going to be a little more laid back. I'm just going to kind of, I always do stream of conscious, but I'm not going to have a topic. And you'll get to, I mean, I'm not the best artist, but you'll get to see, you know, how I work and stuff like that. But one of these days I'll do a sketchbook tour, but my stuff isn't very good. I mean, when I use sketches, I use them to just kind of thumbnail out what I want to do, and I don't really polish a lot of them off, and even if I do polish them off, a lot of times they don't look that great. So, but maybe one day, once this is finally filled, I might do a sketchbook tour. I don't know. There's a lot of naked people. I draw a lot of naked stuff. I'm a perv. No, I don't find nudity to always be, you know, it doesn't always have to be sexual. I mean, everybody always wants to make it that, and it can be that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't always have to be like that. I kind of went off on a tangent. This is the kind of crap I'm going to talk about, because it's all going to be stream of conscious, but one of these days I'm going to do a walkthrough also of, like, my comic. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I was so excited, and I did actually flip this to read the Western style, because most of my audience, I'm probably never going to have any readers who read right to left, so unless you're, like, you know, a fan of that style and you're Western. But anyway, yeah, so I hope to see you guys next week. My brand new desk! Ah! I love it. I love this desk, let me tell you. So anyhow, so like I said, next week's going to be the inking. Wednesday of next week, I am going to be talking about, oh, I think I'm going to be doing, like, a color of Kana, or it's either going to be something to do with Kana, or it's going to be doing with Kanma. Boy, those names aren't similar at all. They're spelled different, so it's okay. Anyhow, that's what's going on. I hope you guys enjoy the videos. Peace and love. Fare you well. And as always, keep on truckin'.